Hi everyone, welcome to Ponderings of the Priest. I hope you had a good week last week, being moved out of your comfort zones and the new life that you discovered. What I'd like to ponder, what I'd like us to ponder together today is how do we, as we move into new life, deal with remorse and regret from our past. I'm not talking about resentments and grudges that we hold. That's different because that's about forgiveness, and that's another pondering for us to ponder. But this is about what do we do with the things that we regret, the remorse that we carry around about lost opportunities, perhaps lost relationships. What I've discovered over time, and I think we discover this as we get older, is that there really are things that we do, there are things that we say that we can never recover from, that life changes permanently because of an action that we have taken that harms ourselves, that harms another, and it's something we have to live with. So our question is, how do we live with that? How do we, as a faithful Christian, as a disciple of Christ, of the redeemed of God, how do we reconcile ourselves with that? Because it's not always easy. If I asked you to think about something that's happened in your past over which you carry profound remorse or regret, and this is not to draw you into something negative, but my guess is that you could probably think of something pretty quickly. I know I can. And so what do I do with that? And how does my faith, and how does Jesus Christ help me with that? Well, the first thing that comes to mind are Jesus' words from the cross just before he died. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And what that tells me is that even today, over 2,000 years later, when I harm another human being, when I do something that permanently alters my life, not for the better, but for the worse, Jesus still prays that prayer for me, for you, for us. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And so what I can first anchor myself in is this understanding and belief that I truly am forgiven. That I truly am forgiven. And that the promise of the resurrection is a promise of a daily life of continual redemption. That every day I get a new chance to make things better. I may not be able to change the past, but what that knowledge of forgiveness and redemption can do for me is give me the hope of a better future. To learn from my mistakes, to say, oh, I really messed that up. What can I do differently? How can I make it right? How can I go and ask for forgiveness and then make amends for that and change so that I never do it again? And how can I become a better person? And this is where the paradox is how can I become a better person because of the things that I've done in my past that hurt others? The last thing I can hold on to is this wonderful quote from a friend of mine: I've given up all hope of a better past. For me to wallow in my past mistakes leaves me stuck there and doesn't move me into the future. And it doesn't move me into new life and new hope. And sometimes that wallowing and that discomfort and that sense of remorse really becomes a sort of a warped kind of comfort zone, which, if you go back to last week of being moved beyond our comfort zones into new life, that's where Jesus can take us. So I'd like to offer that for a pondering for the week. We don't have to stay stuck. There is a way forward, and it is through forgiveness and redemption. Have a wonderful week, everybody.